Herzlich willkommen, mein Name ist Claudia Hoppe. Das ist Folge 28 meines Impro-Podcasts. Diesmal mit einer mobilen Sonderausgabe aus Göteborg vom Improfest. And now I'm going to switch to English. We're in the theater. Yes, how do you actually pronounce the name of the theater?
Aftonstjärnan. It means the evening star.
Aftonstjärnan?
Stjärnan. Yes, that's right.
Yeah, and with me is Peter Nordstrand.
Nordstrand. Yes, that's correct.
Nordstrand. He's the organizer of the Improfest in Gothenburg. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Hello, Peter.
Hello.
Yeah. Nice to have you here. Or you're actually that you took the time to talk to me. Peter, where are you from?
Well, I live in Gothenburg. So I guess that's where I'm from. But are you asking where I'm like?
Yeah,
born?
like born and raised.
I'm born in Malmö, which is in the southern Sweden, but I spent my entire upbringing moving every 3 years. So I'm from Malmö, Lund, Göteborg, Oslo, Orust, både med Skellefteå, Deje, Deje, Karlstad. And there's probably something I missed. Borås.
Okay,
Yeah.
I guess
this will all make sense to an international audience.
Yes, I guess it's all places in Sweden also.
Yes, yeah, except Oslo.
Yeah, right.
Norway.
So, and what do you do here right now?
Well, we are organizing this improv festival. Yes, there's shows every night and workshops in the daytime, and there's a lot to do, and I hope that people are having a good time. So, yeah, we have 29 shows, I think, in 4 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it is.
And how often has the Improfest happened so far?
Oh, never. So
Oh.
this is the first time.
Okay. Have there been other festivals for improv in Göteborg?
No, not here. There has been in Sweden. The latest, I think there was one I know there was one in Uppsala, which is north of Stockholm. I believe there was a couple of attempts in Stockholm, maybe one, but that was quite long ago. And there's probably stuff that has happened that I don't know of. So, but there hasn't been many Swedish improv festivals through the years, I think.
And how do you like it so far? How satisfied with how it's going? It's the second day now.
Yes, I really enjoyed that more than 15 people showed up at these shows, because I'm a pessimist by heart. So
That's why we do improv, right?
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
pessimists.
Yeah, exactly. But it was almost too many people in one of the rooms at least, and I think that's a good sign. I hope they come back. But yeah, so I'm happy. I'm trying to look at how people look and if they talk a lot with each other. I think one of the main points of having an improv festival is for people to meet. At least that's why I go to a festival, to meet other improvisers and maybe see things that I wouldn't have seen, and go to workshops and learn things. That's what I do, and I like meeting improvisers from all over the world and talk to them. And if we are lucky, we create an opportunity for people to do that here. And the only way I can tell is by looking around and see if people from different parts of the world are meeting and talking. I think so. Yeah.
And what was your highlight so far? Like your personal highlight from shows or workshops or general?
You mean here? Well, the Norwegians killed it yesterday.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, they
yes.
did.
I had to cry.
Yeah, it was a beautiful romantic comedy by the Andre Teatret from Oslo, and they were really, and the audience apparently
standing ovations.
Yes, they loved them. I think that was an obvious highlight, I believe. I'm also quite happy that Improvisation och Company, that were the ones after, they did such a different. They are one of the bravest theaters I know, and they take risks and they're really good improvisers, and they challenge themselves to do things that they have not done before. And I'm not sure if what they did was something that everyone responded or got, but I loved it because it was also very different, and it, I think, to come on after what the huge standing ovations for the Andre Theatret, they were so different, so that they could sort of escape the trap of being compared to them, and I think that's beautiful. And maybe it's me being an improv nerd and preferring things, but I also I admire the risk taking and the playfulness and the following their own impulses that they did. So yeah.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, as you say it, everything else would have, probably been compared, and also maybe in the eyes of the audience would have sucked, quite frankly.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So, and that was so different, such a special thing. Yeah. Anyway,
I also enjoyed teaching a workshop today.
Yeah.
I haven't I won't participate in any workshops this festival, unfortunately. But I really like teaching workshops because you get into this bubble where whether it goes good or bad, but it's like this little world for 3 hours, and we're in this little world together, and it's all that matters. And I think it's better than real life because it's manageable, and it's this thing right now. I love it.
Yeah, and you do the same workshop 2 times more, right? Tomorrow and on Sunday.
One time more. I do it on Saturday.
Okay,
tomorrow.
Okay, I see. Peter, a few words about yourself. So when did you start to improvise?
I first encountered improv 1988, I think, but I have not done improv for whatever it is, 30 years at all. Back then I was mostly into, what do you say, normal text written scripted theater, and we did improv exercises with actually quite a good teacher, but they were a way to, when you use improv as a tool for something else. So I don't think I quite got it as a separate art. And back then it also was a lot of theater sports it was really the only thing I could see. So I didn't really, I don't think I got the complete possibilities of what you can do with this art form in itself. And that came a lot later.
And when did this happen? When did you realize, okay, this is using your words, an own art form, and maybe one that you decided for yourself you want to do? Yeah,
the thing is, when I was in my 20s, I did a lot of theater, and we toured around the country in crazy places, and played theaters and cabarets and light entertainment and strange Bukowski theater shows that people, I don't know why they liked it, but that's the thing that we did, and especially the cabarets we did with a lot of, we wrote the sketch comedy bits by improvising them, and then sort of that's how we made the scripts. But then I started doing less and less theater. This is a long answer. I started doing less and less theater, and then finally I had stopped doing theater at all. It didn't happen.
So it just happened?
It didn't happen suddenly, but in small steps I did less and less. And I made choices in life that sort of turned me away from the theater. And for a while I kind of, like 5 years, I just walked around and missed it. Right? And then a few years back, I decided to take an improv class for my own personal good. Just for my own sake.
Here in Sweden?
Here in Sweden, here in Göteborg. At Improverket with Frida Sundström, who was there as a teacher and owner. And it was the best thing I had ever done. and I became in such a much better mood, and I was nicer to my kids, and it took no time at all, and I was doing it full time.
Wow.
It went really quickly.
And when you say full time, what did you do before? Like, what is your background, like your profession or work? Or
Before I did I had my own, freelancing, and it was a lot of storytelling. Storytelling as a rhetorical tool, but also game design and designing games for educational purposes, not computer games. But
and storytelling, like Toastmaster stuff, or what?
No, yeah, not really. Yeah, maybe, but the short. The short reply is this: stories has a power to convince us or feel things, even if we don't state what the point of the story is. Right?
And do you have an idea why that is? Is it because we identify us with the hero, or why is it?
It's because we generalize. So we have this guy we have this pig that builds a house out of stone, and then we have two other little piggies that build houses out of reed and wood, and just so because it's less work. And the pig that builds the house up. This is the old story, right? He's out of stone. He survives, and the other two gets eaten by the wolf. And then we generalize it. We just do it. And we sort of assume that this is always the case, so that the hard-working pig survives, and the two pigs that does not work as hard, the lazy pigs, they die.
So everybody wants to be the busy pig. And
exactly. It teaches us a lesson that if you're working hard, good things will happen.
And so this is what you did before, like a freelance, and this was like a trainer job. Kind of?
Yes, and I also worked at teaching at like a game design school education thing, and we also did some sort of educational games for high schools and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and I guess you're also playing in an improv group here in Göteborg, right?
Kind of. Yeah, I've sort of had to start my own thing. So essentially I have this show that goes on once a week that's called Sentid, which means stage time. And I started it to get more stage time. And I invited my friend Anders Fors, and we do a 2-person show every week. And then we have various guests, and we try to have a lot of improviser guests. But sometimes there's different things like stand-up or musicians. And if they're improvisers, we improvise with them, and then we do our 2-person show. So that's what we do.
And Anders is also teaching his workshops in this festival. So are the two of you like the founders of this festival here? Or
no, actually, not at all. So Anders is teaching, but he has not participated in the sort of organizing of the festival at all. But he's a great guy. I love him much.
How do you know him?
He's improvising in Göteborg like me, and everyone knows everyone.
Okay, I see. So you don't really have like a fixed group or an ensemble in that sense?
No, I create my own.
I see.
I used to work with one of the improv theaters, but then I started my own freelancing business, and then you sort of have to take responsibility for yourself.
I see. And the formats that you play every week, the stage time, you said it's called?
Yeah.
What kind of format is this? Is it like an own format that you invented with Anders, or do you play like classical theater, sport games, or hero story? Or
no, we do. I guess it's a lot of relationship things. So we start playing when the music stops and stop when the music starts. The thing is that it's often about these people and their relationships and what happens to them. And we try, I think that's the main thing. But sometimes completely different things happen. And I like playing with Anders a lot because he is open to accepting and building on whatever happens. So I remember, you want me to tell you?
Yeah,
I
sure.
remember this specific time that we started this show, and he got the inspiration to be, he thought he was being a hippie smoking weed. So he sat down and he said, look at the moon. And I didn't see that at all. So I said, yes, your hair is growing. Yeah. And then it was done. So then apparently he's a werewolf. And that's not what he thought. But we went with it, and it was a crazy show. And it was me chaining this werewolf to the wall every night so that he wouldn't kill people. And then just a strange story where he went out and killed people.
Are you then, if you're playing the two of you, the same characters or multiple characters in your show?
Often multiple characters. Yeah. But sometimes just...
And is it a bit like what probably many people, at least in Berlin, know, like the Crumbs, for example? They also do their duo show.
Yeah, the Crumbs are famous, but I haven't seen them, so I don't know.
Okay,
No.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should go see them
Yeah.
if you have a chance. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Then, coming back to the Improfest, so you're the founder, the main organizer, if you want so.
Yes.
How did the idea arise to have an Improfest here in
Improv has exploded in Gothenburg. It has been exploded worldwide, I think. It's as in more and more people have sort of discovered it in the last few years. But it's very clearly that this has happened in Gothenburg. So I feel that we have a chance to... We should do something with that so that it doesn't go away. We should meet each other, the people that play in Gothenburg, and meet each other and do something together. But we also sort of... It's a way of building on what we have now and not just letting it disappear.
And did you have like an idol? I don't know what is the best English word. Like in German, you say Vorbild. You know what I mean? Like something that you thought, this is how I want to be, our Improfest to be like.
I was actually quite inspired by the festival in Tampere in Finland. A few things, but then I think we're moving in a little bit different direction, and I think we will do our own thing even more next year. But the idea of having mixer shows with people that don't know each other is something I encountered there first. And lots of workshops, short workshops with teachers. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And how many people I hear, like how many people from abroad or from other countries, and how many people from Gothenburg, like in the audience?
There are most people in the audience are Gothenburg. The thing is, I don't quite know how many people there are here from other countries. I can tell you there are people from 12 countries, 4 continents, and stuff like that. But I haven't made a head count.
What do you guess, roundabout?
Maybe 50, 40, 50 people from other countries. And it's a wild guess, it may be more.
And do you know from how many groups?
Yeah, it's 29 minus 3, so it's 26. Yeah, I just removed the mixer shows and then there it was.
Ah, okay, I see. And with this festival, what is like your biggest hope or wish, or maybe also your biggest concern that you had before it started?
My biggest concern was that it would be a complete flop. So, and then I realized quite soon that people were actually applying to perform and applying to teach and wanted to come. So we reached the sort of the improv audience quite quickly, I think. So then that wasn't concern. And the next concern was, will we reach the public, with the general public?
And did you?
Yesterday we did. Yeah. We had full house, I'd say, or almost.
Yeah.
So that was very pleasing, especially in the like 200-seat theater here.
And even downstairs in the small one, there were people who hadn't seen improv before, so they were non-improv audience, like real audience.
Yeah, that's nice. It's really, and they're often the best audience, and the most, and you can learn from them, I think. Yeah. They're not insiders that know when to laugh. They just laugh if they have to, or cry if they feel like it, or whatever. Their emotions are
not blurred by like judgment.
No, and also not blurred by being in the know, right? Because
true.
when we know all the skills, and I can see that she didn't accept, or she did accept, or whatever, you appreciate as an improviser, you appreciate perhaps different things in what you see than you do if you're not. And in the end, I'm interested in performing on stage for people, not just being in a club. Yeah, I think it should be worth watching whether you know what it is or not.
Yeah, true. And your biggest wish, or your hope, what you want to achieve with this festival?
I want to, apart from the things I've already said, is about meeting people, and also allowing people in Gothenburg to meet people from all over the world without having to travel. Not everyone can go to festivals, right? It's also about putting improv on the map in Gothenburg. Not only in regards to audiences, but also we're talking like public funding and things like that. Because in the end, if we want to be professional performers and professional improvisers, though not everyone has to be that, but if you can have groups that can do more groups that can do that, and maybe spend time on rehearsals and stuff like that, it will increase the quality, I believe, of the improv. And there is no public funding for improv at all, almost, in Sweden, while many other theaters get it. Sometimes there's project things, but I want the city of Gothenburg to know that we are doing this, and I want them to treat it like an art form that is worth noticing. That's a clear goal. And
then, can you say something whether you have achieved this goal, or?
Well, we're starting. We did get a project funding that made it possible to bring people from Chicago, and made it possible for us to bring the Norwegians here, which we couldn't have done otherwise, and a little bit other sort of,
And how did you go about planning this festival? How did you start? How did the process look like? Not in every detail, maybe, but just a raw ballpark figure.
I started by talking to two other people. I want you to do this with me. And it was Liv Vistis Rörby and Daniel Malmqvist. Daniel is from Göteborg's Gothenburg Improv Theatre. Because I don't think you can do this thing by yourself. So that's the start. And then I contacted every improv group in Europe I could find. I really did. I spent a day collecting email addresses, and then I invited them. We decided on a date and a place to be, and then we invited people. Okay. Which is kind of stalky almost, but we did. I think that's the foundation. So I emailed like 500 or 600 improv groups.
Okay, I think it's pretty cool because in most of the other festivals I know, you have like I don't know the English word, like a peer group or a clique or something like that. And if you're not in it, you're out, and it's very difficult to get in it. And I think this is then a cool approach because it's a more open approach, actually. So
I like to meet improvisers that I haven't met. I like to see shows that I haven't seen before, and it's often a lot of things that we do are the same, but once in a while there's something that I haven't thought of or that inspires me. And just hanging out with the people that I already know of or know me, it's great, but I want other things as well.
Yeah,
And I can
yeah.
only get that by being surprised.
And are you traveling a lot through festivals in Europe or the States?
No, but I intend to do it a lot more. I haven't been to that many festivals, actually.
Okay. We already touched briefly upon this. Are there other improv festivals in Sweden right now? Probably not, right?
There is, I believe they will do another one in Uppsala again.
The one.
Yes, just north of Stockholm. They were really nice and sent a very nice mail to us, wishing us luck. So they're really great people. So I would be surprised if they don't do another one. But that's all I know of.
And what would you say? How big is the improv scene in Sweden overall? Difficult to answer. I couldn't even answer this for Germany, but I know that in Germany we have, don't let me lie, how many groups, but there is an inventory of all the groups that are in Germany, and there are many, couple of hundreds, I think there. And
there are actually quite a few groups in Sweden, both amateurs and professionals. The thing is, I often become surprised that I hear of a new improv group from this little town, and apparently they live by themselves in their own little bubble and do their thing, and I think there's a lot of those that I have never heard of. The ones that are sort of connected, I know of them, of course, so I guess Stockholm has 3 or 4 or maybe even 5 professional improv groups, depending on how you count. They're like 2, I think, established theaters with their own stages. In Gothenburg has 2 theaters, professional theaters.
wow, for improv only.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, that's quite a lot. Wow. And
then me, I'm super professional.
yeah, super professional. Cool. Actually, where can people see you play during that festival or maybe even beyond?
Well, in this festival, we are doing a thing with a few of the teachers at the end, which is kind of a version of the stage time thing I told you about, but it will be probably a bit different, which is mainly an excuse for me and Anders to play with, Sean Kinley and
when
Orla
is that?
McGovern. It's on Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Other than that, I play this year. I moved to a small theater in the outer parts of Gothenburg. It's a really beautiful theater, but it's small, which is perfect because I don't have that big of an audience.
Okay.
No, but it's like you can probably put in a lot more, but it feels full when there's 40 people there.
Okay.
So that's great. And it's like it's a small version of a big theater, and it's spectacular. Buratino. Yeah.
Okay. Peter, is there anything else you would like to say now to the audience which is listening?
Hello.
Come to Sweden.
Yeah, and invite me to improv festivals and things. I know if that's something I'd like to do, is to meet people and meet improvisers, and I feel that it makes my life better, and it's sort of my own learning process as well. I don't think you're ever done. Is to do that. So I like to travel, and I want to meet more improvisers. So please invite me. I'll pay my own ticket.
Peter, do you have a website?
Yes. First of all, we have one website for the festival, which is improfest.se, SE for Sweden. You can also see my own website, which is peternordstrand.se, which is my name, incidentally.
And the theater where you play at, the small one, do you have a separate website for this, or what you do there for your work?
No, that information is on my website.
I see, okay. Yeah. So when is the next show going to happen over there?
It's September 17, and then we'll do every week, the entire fall.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so for the audience in Sweden, go there and watch Peter and Anders.
Yeah, a few
perform their
does. We have a small but committed audience, I'd say, and it's a blessing to play every week. And to be honest, I'd rather play for like 15, 20 people 100 times than to play for 150 people or 1,000 one time, because it's also about handling risk and handling stakes and handling the possibility of failing, which I believe is a big deal. And if I'm allowed to, if I know that I'm playing next week and next week and next week, I can allow myself to fail and not feel so bad.
Yeah, true.
It's a trick.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Peter.
Well, thank you.
For taking the time.
Thank you.
Der nächste Podcast von mir ist dann für Anfang Mitte September geplant. Das war Folge 28 meines Impro-Podcasts. Mein Name ist Claudia Hoppe und ich sag Tschüss.